Hi everyone. In today's diary, I will show you further improvements that I have made to the CSV reports that I extract from Moontrader and paste it into a spreadsheet. I'll show you how we went from this to then this and now to this. To me, this is a thing of beauty. I really enjoy making it. And it might seem like I'm avoiding any real work, meaning that I'm not starting new algorithms, I'm not making any more money. There is, by the way, no show me the money segment today because it's still the same as before, minus 17 cents. But I'm trying to really make calculated decisions, informed decisions. That's why I'm improving this spreadsheet, and then I will be able to really analyze and do the right thing, hopefully. Of course, there will be errors, but at least I know where these decisions are coming from. So let me walk you through some of the improvements that I have made here. I've added some new columns. Some of them are coming from the raw reports directly. Some of them are calculated. Let's go. The first and easiest one is the symbol. You see now it's much more clean than before. We had this USDT and it was all lowercase. Now with a simple formula, I just trim the USDT part of it and make them all uppercase. I think it's easier to read this way, and I believe you'd agree. Next we have a column called Leverage. I'll come back to it in just a bit because we need some background in order to figure out how I came up with this. Now the timing and dates are all the same as before. Now this is a new addition. This is the duration of the open position. It is simply a matter of having the close time less the open time. Quite easy, but I think it's quite useful. As you can see here from the filters, many of them are closing immediately or within 1 second. But here, look at this champion right here. These two positions, one of them is emulated and one of them is a real one, they've stayed open for 9.5 minutes. And I will try and analyze how this affects trading performance. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but we'll see. Luckily, these were both profits. Next, for the side, I've just colored them red for sell and green for buy, just as we have here in the terminal. This red arrow is for sell, green arrow is for buy. Next, I got a new column called price delta. It really comes straight from the raw reports. Right here, this is the column. It is simply a difference in percentage between the close price and the open price of any trade. And why I need that will become clear in just a bit. So this all came about when I was trying to research this ROE and what exactly this means. Again, this one is coming straight from the reports in this column. Let's just pick a transaction that we can base our explanation on. Let's take this last one, Dusk USDT. Here it is in the terminal. So for the ROE column in the reports, what I see is minus 38,122. Okay, going back to the terminal, here it is, minus 38,122, but below that, we also have something called ROE, confusingly so, and it's a completely different number. It's minus 1.584. This is ROE, but the numbers are completely different. And before, when analyzing the reports, I was looking at this number right here at the bottom right. But where does this come from? And also, this number on the bottom right does not have any place here in the CSV reports. It's nowhere to be found. The closest I could find is this number here, price delta, which we've already talked about, but it's not exactly the same. It's minus 152 instead of 158. And the 38 is right here. So I wanted to get to the bottom of this, figure out why are these two things called ROE, but the numbers are different, and how are they exactly calculated. So using logic, as well as trial and error, I was able to figure out the formula for the ROE that we have at the bottom of the terminal. If we go back to our transaction here I have an ROE terminal column, and this is where I have minus 1.584, exactly as in the terminal. So this comes from this formula. You have your total USDT divided by your order size. Remember that total USDT is already taking into account your fees that you have paid to the exchange. So less the fees, you have less profit or more loss, and that's where you get this number from. But where do you get 38 from? Well, that required some reverse engineering. Let's go back here. I tried different things, and finally I have ended up with this, minus 38. Now, where does it come from? I came up with this formula. ROE, here in the reports, equals total USDT plus fee, here total USDT plus fee, divided by order size, right here, and also multiplied in this case by 25. And where does that come from? That is leverage. That is leverage, and if we want to verify that, we go to the coin. In this case it was dusk. We can go to the terminal, search for dusk, and we can see that it's 25 margin. And this means that this ROE here takes into account the margin of the coin, which is the extra money that the exchange gives you. But this 38 is only relative to the margin that you have put into the specific trade. Here, my order size was, let's say, 60. And the leverage is 25. Now, let's see how much of my own money I had in this trade. 60 divided by 25 is 2.4. So I had 2.4 of my own money here. And of that, I have lost 0.94. Well, 0.95 if you round it. So here, if we divide the loss by the actual margin that I had built into this trade, we arrive at 39%. And here we have 38%. Which is to me close enough because I haven't taken care of all of the extra digits here and I've rounded all the things up. So here, this is where it comes from. Now, why is that useful? By looking at this formula, we can see that we can actually solve for leverage. We can find out the leverage that was used for each of these trades, and this number itself is nowhere to be found in the reports. To solve for leverage, we have this. Leverage equals ROE times order size divided by the sum of total USDT plus fee. To be fair, total USDT plus fee is this number here, P&L USDT. We can verify that. Fee plus total USDT. Down at the bottom we have 0.91, and this is what we have here. But this way to me is more clear. It shows you where the fees are taken care of and where they are not taken care of. Now this brings us back to this column here called leverage. I have applied the formula that I just shown you and used the data that I already have to come up with the leverage that was applied in each individual trade. In the formula, I had to do some rounding because I was ending up with 19 or 21 because of different rounding differences. But why is this important? As I've explained before, I believe that leverage has something to do with the way different coins behave on the market. And larger leverage coins are more stable, and lower leverage coins are a bit more prone to volatility. And we can somewhat verify that, because if we look here and try and find only the high leverage coins, 50 and 75 in this case, we have not so many transactions. But for the other ones, we have many more of them. Here. So much more. Just this thing shows you that in the market live, the most volatile coins are more likely to be lower leverage coins. Plus, as you have seen, Binance changes the leverage of different coins from time to time. So dusk is at 25, it could go down to 20 or it could go up to 50, I don't know. And this information will not be historically available. But here I have calculated leverage for every transaction that I have historically made. And I believe this could prove useful. We could actually see how a coin behaves if its leverage is upgraded or downgraded if I continue trading it. But that's another story altogether. Let's go back to my spreadsheet. So this ROE terminal column I've explained, it's the one that we see at the bottom right of the terminal. By the way, these are just color-coded, red for loss and green for profit. Next, there is a fun thing about this one, the closed column. I've explained that it's either take profit or stop loss, but here I've added another column called P or L, or profit or loss. Why do I need that? Because we already have stuff here that kind of shows you whether it's a profit or a loss, but check this out. If we were to go and filter only for stop loss, we surprisingly see that some of the stop losses have actually gained us money. 5 cents here, 2 cents here. How does that happen? It's stop loss, but it's actually a profit. I have an idea it has something to do with mark price and the way stop losses are executed, but that's for another time. So this is not really a true indicator, a solid indicator for whether the trade has been profitable or not. Moreover, we have more stuff here. Panic and NA, for example. So panic here is where I've manually closed the position, and NA, I have no idea what happened here. We have to look exactly at this trade on the graph. See, not even the terminal knows what happened. It's just that the position was closed and it gave us a profit of 71 cents. That's actually quite big. So here, for this specific reason, I have added another column, profit or loss, and it's very straightforward. The logic here is if this number is greater than 0, then put P for profit, otherwise put L for loss. This is a very solid indication of whether it was profitable or not. The importance of this will come in later when I explain to you this top part. But for now, the last additional column is the distance, and I'm simply extracting it with the formula from the algorithm name. Looks like this. And I guess that's about it for the updates that I've made to the columns. Well, actually here in leverage, I've color-coded them red for lowest leverage, yellow for mid-level leverage, and then green for higher leverage. Right here. But this video has been long enough already. In the next video, I will explain to you this top part right here, which is what I'm most proud of. And I'll walk through this step by step. And then based on this, we will be able to make some decisions, or I will be able to make some decisions on what to do next with my algorithms that are currently sleeping, not doing anything, and I think they're quite sad at this point. We'll breathe some life into them quite soon once we have completed the analysis here. It's quite interesting. I've done some here already, and the insights, I think, are worth it. I will see you next time for that.